So yes, hello, my name's Carly. I'm the Knowledge Exchange and Impact Officer for SEED. We haven't got an awful lot of time left and there's quite a few links on some of these slides. So I just wanted to make people aware of some of the things that are available, some resources and support that are available for people who are thinking about embedding impact into their research. I'll just whiz through these quite quickly. So I wanted to point out that the research councils, even though Pathways to Impact isn't really a thing anymore when you're writing a bid, they still do have impact toolkits and guidance on their websites to help you to think about how you can start planning for impact when you're thinking about a new research project. Two other good external websites are the NCCPE, which is all about public engagement, and Fast Track Impact, which is Mark Reed's website. They've got lots of different blogs and resources about impact more generally. Thinking about specifically to the University of Manchester, so we've got some colleagues from Policy at Manchester and from the communications team with us in this meeting, so I'll leave that for now and they can chat about how they can help. But some useful internal websites are the Successful Grants database that's got examples of successful bids from humanities colleagues, and also a couple of documents on impact planning and costing and resourcing your impact activities. So we talked about time and we also talked about money. So there's some good tips there for how you can cost impact activities into a research plan. Caris and Joe have talked really well about the Impact Acceleration Account on this meeting. So this is a fund specifically awarded to the University of Manchester for developing the impact of our social science research. And please do get in touch with your Knowledge Exchange and Impact Officer for your school if you're interested in applying for the IAA, because there's still a good couple of years to run on this grant. So there's going to be lots of opportunity to apply for support through it. A list there of skills development opportunities. So some of the research councils have training that relates to impact. The two festivals there, the AHRC and ESRC festivals, run every year. I've also been on the parliamentary impact training session, which has got some great tips about how you can engage parliamentarians with your research, including giving evidence to select committees and things like that. And I'm sure Terry can speak to a little bit more about that. The Knowledge Exchange Unit at Parliament also has academic fellowships. These are opportunities for researchers to actually go and work in Parliament on specific projects. So look out for their calls on their website. These are the contact details for the Knowledge Exchange and Impact Officers in Humanities. There's one assigned to each school. We also have a new Twitter account and website, so we're trying to be a little bit more technological savvy and try and communicate with people in that way. And hopefully some of you will have seen this event advertised on our Twitter feed. But do get in touch with us if you need any sort of support around impact. We can always try and help you. So Terry, I believe Terry is here with us today and she can talk a little bit more about how Policy at Manchester can help you.
Thank you, Carly. Thanks. Hi, everyone. So I'm Terry Lucas and I work in the Policy at Manchester team. And we work across the university supporting academics with your policy engagement. And I'm the main contact for academics in the Faculty of Humanities. So on the slide that's here, I've just got one slide for today and it just gives a couple of examples of the ways that we can support you with your policy engagement. So a couple of the presenters today have mentioned some of these things. So one of the ways that we can help is through what I like to call proactive support. So when you want to engage with policymakers based on your research findings at a time that suits you, we can help you with that through things like our blogs, and we use these as a starting point for conversations with policymakers. And then we can also help on a more reactive basis, which is where we look at government consultations and select committee inquiries. We see what's out there at the moment, and if we know about your research and we think that it can feed into those inquiries, we'll get in touch with you to let you know that it's there. And also we can help you with your evidence submission by giving you some information about guidance on submissions and also giving feedback on drafts if that's something that you find really helpful. I just want to say, really kind of give our blogs a bit of a plug. During COVID-19, we've published quite a lot of blogs from humanities academics, and we've had a really great response rate from MPs and policymakers more generally. So we've had over the last 6 months, we've had a meeting with a minister, we've had 2 meetings with shadow ministers, we've had meetings with Scottish Government officials and with people in the third sector as well. So this is a really great opportunity to help academics start some of those conversations. And it might be, I know someone asked about how to set up those networks when you're early in your career. We might be able to help with that if you're looking to speak to policymakers. And also in terms of the comment about time, hopefully we can help a bit with capacity in terms of some of the stakeholder mapping that we offer if policy is an area that you're working in specifically or want to influence. At the bottom of the slide, I've just put my contact details. Really, I just wanted to take the opportunity today to let you know who I am and encourage you to get in touch with me if you want to work with the Policy at Manchester team on policy engagement. We can set up a Zoom, have a chat. I can give a bit more detail about the support that we offer, and then I'd really like to hear about the research that you're doing. And I'll leave it there. Thanks, Carly.
Thanks, Terry. So Lorna and Emma are with us. They're from the SEED and the faculty communications teams respectively, and they've got some information on who you can contact if you're interested in comms and media.
So I'm not going to rattle on for too long, but my name is Lorna and I'm the SEED Communications and Engagement Officer in SEED, and I'm here with Emma Richmond, who's from the Humanities Research Communications team. Obviously, with just 5 minutes, I'm not going to be able to get through everything that we do, but hopefully you'll learn some new things and about some of the contacts out there who are able to help. So before I talk about the teams that are in the schools and news and media team, I wanted to do a little top line on promoting your research and signpost to some guidance. Carly touched upon the communications and media guidance. I think this is a really good place to start, just to kind of give us a starter for 10. There's pages on how to generate media coverage, how to maximize your profile online, sharing your story internally, which I'm sure you all know is just as important as externally when you're looking for collaboration, and also the information on influencing public policy that Terry's just spoken about. And then within these pages, there's also information on social media. Now, I know that a lot of people already use that to great effect, but these pages also include some information that maybe you've not thought about from other perspectives. So it includes a social media directory, which has the key social media channels across the university. So other people that can get your message out and perhaps think about engaging with different audiences. Also provides some information on the central social media team and some key examples of how they've really helped researchers in the past make an impact with their work using social media. Although their training has been frozen during COVID-19, they have started some online training, and that's a really great way to kind of learn new ways in which you can use social media to great effect. So it's worth checking out. And then finally, I, in the past, have found it really useful to signpost academics towards how to pitch guides, because when you're thinking about working with news and media outlets, you want to start thinking about, well, for a layman's audience, how is my research going to come across? What are the viewpoints that I have? Who do I want to pitch to? And so the two of my favourites are the Conversations Author Short Guides and the Guardian's Pitching an Opinion, but there's plenty out there, so it's just kind of worth starting thinking as a starting point. Okay, so that was a short bit on the guidance. So I'm just going to move on to the school-specific communication officers. Carly, if you just go on to the next slide for me. Thank you. So as you can see here, these are your links within the schools. So each school has a different way of working, but we are here to provide support and guidance, whether that's internal or external with comms. And the way in which we do that very much depends on what you need from us. But there's also the faculty communication contacts team, but I will let Emma speak about that in a moment. So one of the key things that the school communication contacts team does is feed into other activities and work with the people like Terry, like the news and media team, to make sure that we're making the most of getting your research out there. So on the next slide, I just wanted to talk about the news and media team very shortly. So as you can see, the news and media relations team, and I'm sure many of you have already worked with them, are split across the different sections. But why I mentioned those resources at the start is, as you can see, they're a very small team for how many academics we have across the university. So it can be really helpful when I'm working with Joe, for example, in humanities, if you're coming to him with an idea of how you want to pitch, who your audiences are, and where you want to go with it. I think Miguel made a really good point that I just wanted to pick back up on. I know that engaging with the comms and engagement teams can sometimes feel like, well, you haven't got much time, and engaging with us means taking up time. But actually, if a piece gets out into the media and it gets some real traction, then it can provide an opportunity for you to share your work in that kind of, Ola mentioned a press all button. Having it in a big media piece is kind of exposing it to whole new audiences and perhaps some new areas that you hadn't thought about. So sometimes can be beneficial. All right, I'm going to pass on to Emma because I think I've rambled on enough.
Thanks, Lorna. That was a really useful summary. I'm really conscious of time, so I'll keep this as brief as possible. My name's Emma. I'm the Research Communications and Engagement Manager in the Faculty of Humanities, and our contact details are on the slides that are going to be shared. So I just wanted to, like Terry, just wanted to really introduce myself and make everyone aware that we exist. We're lucky enough in humanities to have a research, communications and engagement team. It's something that sadly the other faculties don't have access to. But we are here to support on everything to do with research, communications and engagement, and that is a dual remit across both, so we can really help you to achieve impact. We work really closely with Lorna and with the other school contacts that she mentioned. It's very much a collaborative approach we have, so whether you start with us or whether you start with Lorna, we can support you in the way that you need. And I would just say to get in touch, because the way we've heard 4 amazing case studies today, and they've all been incredibly different, and we work on a case-by-case basis. So if you get in touch with us, and we can have an initial chat about what you need, who your stakeholders are, and how we can best help you, whether it's through general guidance and principles or whether it's through something more involved. So yeah, I'll leave it there because I can see on the chat that people are having to go. So thank you very much, and thanks for the session.
Cool. So, yes, I am on. So thank you all for all of those presentations. What I get the feeling at the end of that session is that there's still plenty more to talk about, and that particularly we could look at organising a whole event which looks at the idea of pathways to impact, as well as going back to that question about focusing on you know, how might we measure things, because I think there's one thing getting it out there, and then a whole other ball game of actually trying to create some figures to go with it. But I think having worked or come across kind of Lorna, Terry and everyone sort of in different guises, I think do use them, because I think they have expertise which you know, I know I'm very much a novice at, and value kind of other people's thoughts in those areas.